What is good, folks? It's your boy. Jesus. I don't know why I always got to do something stupid at the beginning of this. It's like for some reason, I don't know. Maybe it helps helps me get into flow state, along with Joe. Helps me get into flow state. But it's like, again, the surest sign of mental instability is taking oneself too seriously. Anybody who can't laugh at themselves, well, more than likely they're mentally defective. Anywho, I bid you adieu. Let me see, hold up. Shinado. Where's that note? Whoa. I always wanted to be a bass. But I'm not set up that way. More of a high-pitched guy. It's crazy. I can't sing right now either. It's like, I don't know if you can tell, but it's like my sinuses they're acting a little funky right now. It's cool. It's just mostly dried out. But yeah, I was always one of those really high-pitched dudes. Girl, I love you more than words can show. My love is pure. Yeah. See, I told you yesterday, I don't know what happened to my voice, man. I got older and the shit was just like, no, not today, Donald King. How y'all feeling out there tonight, man? Y'all good? I hope so. I've been having a good old time with Dandy. Today we want to talk about the subject of genius. I should probably start by mentioning that I don't consider myself a genius. I'm something removed from consideration in that way. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But because a lot of the ways in which I'm able to perform mirror ways that geniuses are able to perform in, I've kind of become a sort of de facto advocate for geniuses, man. So, and I probably could have said that better. I'm sure I chose the wrong word to convey that, but genius, man. What is a genius? A genius is a person who can use conceptual bonding and separation techniques to navigate through fields and systems of idealism in direct, succinct, or in dynamic ways. Geniuses are people who expand the scope and purview of consideration with respect to given fields of contemplation. This is what a genius is. Why are people so scared of geniuses? There was a gentleman, I believe his name was Maurice Maeterlinck or something like that, and I can look it up here in a second. Let me check this out real quick. Maurice Maeterlinck. Maurice Maeterlinck. Was it Maeterlinck? And he said it was something to the effect of, and forgive me as I kind of struggle through this, he said something to the effect of, and I'm going to have to paraphrase it because I don't have time to go searching for it, but it's like, at the crossroads, at the crossroads to advancement or enlightenment, stand 1,000 men firmly guarding the past. And I'm paraphrasing that, and I'm going to pull it. I'll actually copy and paste the real quote in the comment section when I'm done. But basically, it's every enlightened soul. They're going to encounter 1 million people who try to beat them back into their place. People who try to make them know that they're not special and they're not unique, and that, basically everyone, that they're no different from anyone else. There's always going to be someone who appoints themselves to put geniuses in check. A genius is a person who performs above the limits of the system. A genius is a person who does not require convention or trends or groups to make their minds up for them and or to process information and reality for them. In the movie The Matrix, the geniuses are the unplugged individuals. They're the people who are no longer linked into the system and who are able to actually think independently of the frame that sort of, I want to say, holds authority over and shapes interactions between actors within its respective universe. Okay, and I'm sure that I could have said that better. But the idea is this: people are scared of genius. They're scared of people who perform above the limits of the system. Notably, ideologues. Ideologues are scared of genius. They go around and they try to create societies wherein they can award themselves this title, but ability speaks for itself. It doesn't matter if you get into Mensa. It doesn't matter if you get into any of the IQ societies. And if you have a lot of mediocre minds at the upper echelon of social reasoning and or convention, tell you that you're great for navigating through the systems and mazes of convention that they've come up with and agreed to, at the end of the day, genius is not limited to convention. Genius sets the pace for and expands the scope and breadth and depth of convention. People are scared of what they can't control. But there's another reason why people are so scared of geniuses. It's that very reason. They're scared of what they can't control. People are afraid they're afraid of genius in the same way that they're afraid of someone who isn't like them having a gun. Or any type of weapon, really. Or any type of power. They're afraid that the person who has the power will use the power in the same way they would if they had it themselves. People are scared of geniuses because of what they would do if they had genius themselves. So all the cowardly ideologues come out. They see somebody performing above the limits of the system, and what enrages them is someone doing what they can't. And the first thing they think is, why do they deserve that power if I can't have it and wield it myself? It goes back to parasitism. It goes back to this core paradigm wherein individuals believe that it should be their inherent right to live and benefit at the expense of others, up to and including reality itself. I deserve more. I want to consume more. I want to have tools that imbue me with the ability to steer attention and resources towards myself so that I can consume more. Hence, when a cowardly ideologue sees someone performing above the limits of the system, their first inclination is to knock them down, not out of concern for the well-being of all, but out of envy under the guise of concern for all. You're making us unsafe. No, that's not what it is it? You make me feel insecure and uncertain because you are not limited by into the system in the same way that I am. You have the ability to steer attention towards yourself that I don't. You have the ability to outconsume me. You are necessarily a threat to my life and livelihood. I hate you because I envy you. This is the cowardly ideologue. They fear genius because genius gives someone a power that they themselves do not have. And if they had that power, they would weaponize it against the world and others within society in the way that they suspect the genius will. They would exploit the talent in the same way they suspect that the genius will. It's kind of like how white people, and racist white people, we're going to say that here in America. It could be worldwide, but it's notably here in America. They hate it when black people get any sort of social recognition or inclusion. They hate it when black people get any rights. They hate it when people, actually black people or people of color, get any sort of power or social leverage because they fear that those with power will do to them what they have done with power. Cowardly ideologues. You hate genius because you fear geniuses would do or will do what you would do with genius if you had it. You use it to flex. It's kind of like some people don't want other people to have money. They don't want them to have money because they fear that the people will do with money what they would do if they had money. Again, let me see. I got a comment over here. Are you saying you are a genius? No, I am not a genius. And the reason why I'm not a genius, Eric, is because I am an avatar. I process information and reality on a different mode. The difference between me and a genius is it's very much like how it is sort of framed within the movie of The Matrix. Okay, so imagine geniuses are, again, people who are unplugged from the matrix, people who are not necessarily completely dialed into the hive mind. And because they're not dialed into the hive mind and they don't have to make sense of the world and reality by means of a greater social narrative, it gives them, or it lends their mental capability to a type of elasticity that other people simply are not afforded. Within that frame, if those people who are unplugged are geniuses, then I would be akin to being an avatar. I'd be akin to kind of like a Neo character. And I'm not self-idealizing. That's just the way that it works. And I'm describing that in terms of how I process information. So think about it like this. Let's say those people who are unplugged from the system, because they're unplugged from the system, they can run through the system faster. It'd be equivalent to they would be like the Flash. They could run those city streets fast as hell. And then it'd be like comparing it to Superman, who doesn't have to run through the streets at all, who can just fly over everything. In order for me to arrive at solutions, I don't necessarily have to work through systems of idealism. And when I try to work through systems of idealism, I literally have to crunch my thinking down in order to get into these intricate networks of patterns that humans have created in order to navigate them efficiently. 9 times out of 10, I just fly straight the fuck over them. So, yeah. But cowardly ideologues, they're afraid of genius. I embrace genius when I find them. I embrace them because they're rare. They're a rare treat. I posted a link to a video clip from The Gambler starring Mark Wahlberg a few days ago, and it was talking about this one individual who was in this class, this young lady, and Mark Wahlberg's character, he delivered this fabulous monologue wherein he describes the magic of genius. He said, genius is magic, not material. You can't source it to a type of series of circumstances or events leading up to it. It comes out of nowhere, and people get angry at it because they think it's unfair. Why do you get this talent and I don't? Why do you get this talent and I don't? And it's kind of like, I know it's rooted in envy, but the main thing is, it mostly has to do with the parasitic mind. Everything boils down to consumption and access to consumption. People hate genius because geniuses considerably deserve more. They deserve more attention. They deserve more opportunities, and they deserve access to platforms that allow them to share their gifts with the world that regular ass people, that ideologues, well, they feel they deserve, but in reality they don't. And they know they don't. So the only thing they try to do is knock everyone down. I'm gonna take you down to the level of the crowd. I'm gonna defeat you and show you that you're no better than me. You're no better than me. Know your place, which should be rightfully beneath me. I deserve access to attention and access to resources before you. Brother, I'm sorry, the word. It's like, let me see. Is it like if I had money, I wouldn't give it to poor people, so other people shouldn't have money because they won't give it to me? Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. I'm so proud of you. Your intellect, it is phenomenal. You're one of the people who I would consider a genius. Not because you agree with the things that I say or that you're able to deconstruct and make sense of the things that I'm telling you. It's just the way that you process information. Most of the people who are going to be true geniuses, they're going to process information on the autism spectrum. A lot of people don't because humans don't actually understand the mechanism of how intelligence works. Well, I'll give you a quick breakdown. So people who process information on the autism spectrum, it's like a different type of mental hardware than people who process more on the conventional mode. And a lot of it really does have to do with habits and practices that you develop through the course of your life. Those who are more given to the socialization process tend to veer more towards the ideologue strain, and those who are and those who are sort of more given to independent thinking, it sort of wires your brain to process information and reality in a way. But it does start with some very basic predispositions. So this is something that I like to explain to people when I'm describing how autism works as a phenomenon, right? I want you to think about it like this. Most kids come out of the womb, and let's liken intellect to like a 9mm, right? And some kids come out and they're like, bow, bow, bow. They learn how to be marksmen really fast. They dial into that 9mm intellect very quickly. Kids who are on the autism spectrum, 9 times out of 10, it's like how it works with them is they get like a sniper rifle. So when they're young, this shit is heavy and cumbersome and they can't aim with it. And they don't know how to make sense of the world around them because they have this big gaudy intellect that they don't know how to maneuver. But as they get a little bigger and they learn how to focus and they learn how to discipline their minds and focus through all the distraction and the distortion and the sensitivity issues. Once you learn how to use that fucking sniper rifle with laser precision and accuracy, while everybody else is striking these targets in short distance with accuracy, only you can learn how to strike those targets with precision and accuracy too, with a sniper rifle. But then you have the hardware, the mental hardware, to hit those targets that are 2-3 miles off in the distance. That's how it works at a mechanical level. So the majority of the people who I know who are on the spectrum, the majority of the people who I've interacted with who are geniuses, they're on the spectrum. And again, I'm not saying this because it's like I'm working through my own system of idealism. Again, I'm describing what I can see. The thing that separates me from being a genius is the fact that it's like I don't have to work through systems of idealism. I mean, I can become a genius when or if I want to, but it's very much like the Neo character in The Matrix. If you can fly to the point, you don't have to be the Flash. You don't have to be the Flash if you can just fly there. I mean, like you can get on the ground and after running a bit, you can get your legs ready to run as fast as the Flash. You can race them if you like, but if you can fly there, why? And therein lies the rub. So yeah, man, it's really interesting, but I am an advocate for geniuses, man. I'm an advocate for geniuses because they get persecuted. They get hated by all these cowardly ideologues running around trying to fight for attention. Trying to knock everybody down to the level of the crowd so that they don't have to live with the idea that they're not as deserving as the next person. Why is this person special? Why do they get more than me? What about me? Again, narcissism, competition, and aggression. They are the Trinity. They are the Trinity of corruption. All cowardly ideologues are narcissists. As such, they're either directly or latently competitive and directly or latently aggressive. This is how it works at a mechanical level. Aggressor parasites. Something that really bothers me, because I am able to perform at the level of genius when I dial into systems of idealism, and there's always a slow start. So it's like I have to, once I learn the language, then I can hit flow state, and then once I hit flow state, then I can take it up to the level that I'm used to performing on. But it's like, it's like, because a lot of people, they perceive me to operate at genius level, they treat me in the exact same way that they treat regular geniuses, wherein the only thing that they know how to do is try to compete against me and knock me down to the level of the crowd. It's always motivated by vanity. It's always motivated by selfishness and a desire to consume. However, it becomes very annoying at a certain point. The majority of the people who are ideologues, when I first start interacting with them, the very first thing they try to do is start testing boundaries with me. They're like, yo, how can I impose my will on this guy? How can I subtly and gradually get him to do my bidding so that I can feel safe in his presence? The only time cowardly ideologues are not afraid of geniuses is when or if they can view the genius as an extension of their own identity. You don't have a problem if a genius comes from your race or from your country or represents you on some platform or in some institution, because it reinforces your identity. It reinforces your inner story and or the collection of meanings, symbols, and beliefs, habits, practices, and effects that you've internalized and seek to self-actualize through, right? You don't have a problem if the genius is something that you perceivably control or have some level of influence over by proxy of or by extension of who you are or where you're from. But if someone who you don't deem worthy and or who doesn't reflect you back to you has a superpower you don't, and all of a sudden you're scary. You don't know how to cope. You got to knock them down. Because only you, right? You should be the special one. You should be the strongest and the bravest and the best and the most deserving, or if not you, then someone who reminds you of you, right? Cowardly ideologues. And they make life a living hell for geniuses. You know, it's really funny. I was watching, what movie was that? It was the one that was about Stephen Hawking. Was it The Theory of Everything? And when he was proposing his his theory about, what was it? I guess there being some type of radiation that damn it! It's like, you know what? It skips my mind in the moment. It'll come back to me a little bit later. But it's like when he proposed his theory, which became the basis of his work. Did you see the professors in the room scoffing and getting mad and walking out and storming out? Why is that? Why couldn't they support a colleague who'd already demonstrated himself to be a brilliant man? Why couldn't they support him? Be like, yo, let's investigate what you're talking about. What triggered them so that the only thing that they knew how to do was storm out in dissent? Cowardice. The fear of being diminished. The fear of being not as deserving of attention, consideration, and rewards. Envy it's an extension of narcissism and competition and aggression. Envy is what a person experiences when somebody has something that they don't, which they feel they deserve more. How dare you be prettier than me? I deserve to be prettier than you. I deserve more. Bro, here we are. Brother Chris, basically how Lex Luthor views Superman. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. Just sheer envy. Sheer envy. I should be better than you. What happens when you're not? What happens when you're not? There are a lot of people who bring their aggression to me directly. And it just so happens that the majority of them just happen to be white males within the last few years. And I guess middle-aged white women as well. But it started off with a lot of black people as well. So, and Latino people and Asian people. They come to me with their aggression. I tell them not to do it. Don't, because this ends badly for you. Like, once we're out of these flesh suits, this ends very badly for you. But the narcissism gets the best of them. And they're like, I'm going to check you. I'm going to show you that you're nothing. That you're just some delusional asshole who thinks he's better than everybody. And I'll be the one to put a stop to it. It's a bad move. Very bad move. But what does it stem from? This fear of being less. It's not just being scared of what you can't control. It's scared of being next in line. Next in line. Behind someone you feel you should be ahead of. Cowardly ideologues. I talk about what a coward is often. A coward is a person who's afraid to face reality. And if you're a passive coward, then you retreat into the inner story and just cower. You freeze in place and hope that whatever's making you feel insecure and uncertain will just go away without any effort coming from you. If you're an aggressive coward, then you go around and try and bully people and things and use force and coercion and violence to make things conform to your inner story. Because you're too afraid to face a reality in which you are less powerful than you'd like to see yourself as being. Reality hates cowardice. You look at it in the eye. You face it chin up. You take your lumps, you adapt, and you keep it moving. But don't be shook. And certainly don't go around trying to take your anger and frustration out on people and things because you're too scared to deal with a world in which you are not as powerful as you would like to see yourself as being. It's a bad look. It's a bad look. Anywho, geez, so where are we going back? We're talking about geniuses, people being scared of geniuses, why I'm an advocate for geniuses, why I don't technically qualify as a genius, and yeah, just I think that's a basic recap of what it is. People are scared for three main reasons. One, they're scared of something that they can't control. Two, they're scared of power being in someone's hands who they can't see as an extension of themselves. And three, probably should have listed this one as one, but they're afraid of being in line behind someone they feel they should consume before. How dare you get access to the trough before me? How dare your desires and your needs be satisfied before mine? How dare you have the tools to satisfy your desires and wishes ahead of me? I'm going to make you suffer over my own insecurity and uncertainty. You are the reason why I'm less than spectacular. If I can just defeat you, then I will be greater by extension of my victory over you and by the fact that you are no longer a threat to me. It's fucking cowardly. You know the coolest thing about it? It goes to the same thing I was talking about the Monday when it's like I like real alphas. I like real geniuses. Because whenever we are in league with one another, nobody's scary. Everybody's like, oh, I sit in my own power. I stand in my own power. I don't need to diminish yours in order for mine to shine because I've already got my own thing. I'm good. Like the people who I hang around right now, they're like super friends. Everybody got their own thing. Nobody has to compete against me. They don't need to knock me down they don't have to try and dim my light in order for theirs to shine brighter. They're already shining in their own room. So when I come across real geniuses, oh, I love that shit. It's just like coming across real talented people. Oh, I love that. They're never scared of me. They embrace me. The most intelligent people that I've gotten access to through the last couple of years, first thing they do is they acknowledge what I bring to the table in the way of ability, and they embrace me. Hey, dude, you're fire. I love you. You're awesome. Cowardly ideologues go on the attack every time. Real talent uplifts talent. It recognizes talent. Real genius recognizes genius. It uplifts genius. Real ability, real potency, it recognizes real ability and real potency, and it uplifts it. My competition, I don't consider myself as having any competition, but if I did consider any one competition, it would never be individuals who are on the level, because it's like we're all doing our own thing. We all walk in our own lane. I don't have anything to do but edify and uplift them. I don't like scary people. I like the brave. I like the capable. Miss Tiff, hey, how you doing, mama? That's my girl. Yo, hey, I had a good time hanging out with you last night. you fire. I like you. So that's what it boils down to, people. Which category are you in? Are you one of the 10,000 trying to knock the person who's marching into the future back into their place in the hive so that they are rightfully beneath you? Are you one clearing the path for them because you're not scared of their potency or fearful of the fact that they may steal opportunities and shine away from you? What cloth are you cut from? Only strong people fuck with me. Everyone else tries to compete, and I have no desire to compete against anyone. Right now, at this juncture in my life, the only people who I'm trying to deal with are those who operate in a cooperative spirit. You're building or you're blocking, but you can't do both. You're marching into the future, or you're trying to preserve the past because you feel you have some power in what's back here. But if you'd rather preserve your power than you would advance the betterment, it isn't like we got a lot in common anyway, right? Only the strong, only the brave. Oh man, let me see. Oh, we got some more people coming in right now. Let me see. Judy Henderson, I remember you when you were a young man. You have grown to be a handsome, intelligent individual. I agree with your narrative. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You know what? It's like I'm gonna have to go to your profile, and I'm sure that it's like as soon as I see your face when it's completely dialed in, I'm like, hey, Judy, what's good with you? But yeah, I very much I look forward to catching up with you, and thank you so much for the compliments. I do my best to just be honest and authentic, and you know, I can't take any credit for anything beyond that. I think most people would be surprised at how far honesty carries you towards developing your intellect when you're not carrying around a bunch of like mental garbage in the way of beliefs and like sort of nebulous emotions. It frees your mind up to organize thoughts and to process information and reality cleanly and efficiently in real time. So if I were to credit anything, one, it would be God, and two, it would be my desire to just be honest and authentic. And again, I'm just grateful for the idea that I'm just grateful for the fact that just sort of letting go of all of that clutter brought me to the point that I'm at right now. So I'm so grateful that you appreciate what I'm doing. And it's like, I look forward to catching up with you before too long. And yes, I will continue to live my best life. I'm just trying to be, I'll say it like this. I always, of all the prayers that I pray similar prayer every day. But the main prayer that I pray is, one, to remain honest, two, to stay in theme with what I'm supposed to be doing in life, and more importantly, to be the best person that I can be, and to leave every situation that I walk into better than it was when I got there. And it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because even if there's nothing on the other end of me putting these thoughts out into reality and into the universe, and the very fact that I want these things moves me in the direction of them, irrespective of whether or not something's helping me to that end. So I'm just grateful, and I'm grateful that I have the wherewithal to understand what my priorities should be in that way, so that I'm always moving towards personal betterment, Yeah, so we get her done. But I want to first of all, let me go ahead and say this. Y'all already know I'm obviously shooting this on Facebook Live, but I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, and I'm on Medium as well. And you guys can check me out on all these different platforms. You always feel free to join the Patreon family. I'm Avatar Cycle 13. That's Avatar Cycle XIII. Or if you get any sort of benefit from what I'm doing and you just want to bless your boy with a little bit of love, you can always hit me up on Cash App at Donnie Kang. All proceeds go towards building this up to a larger platform so that I can reach as many people as I can before I'm out of this body, out of this flesh suit. And I thank y'all for tuning in. Here's something that I'd like to leave on this particular note. Something that I would like to say before we're out on this thing. And I see you, brother Armando, and I'm going to get to you in just a second. Something that you have to understand is everybody has the capacity to process information and reality cleanly and efficiently. Everybody, once you sort of get rid of all of this mental garbage in the way of belief structures and sort of meanings that you've internalized and agreements you make with yourself, which are what beliefs are, then your mind can start to process information at a genius level. So the more you strip away like layers and layers of idealism, is the more, it's kind of like, Imagine beliefs and meanings that you sort of take on as just like weights. You're stacking on your shoulders, and you're stacking on your shoulders. If you're mad at this person over here because they can run 1,000,000 miles a second, but it's like you have all these weights on your shoulders and they make it so that you can barely walk, drop the weights. You may not be able to run as fast as the genius over here, but I guarantee you that you'll run faster. Drop the weights. There's never a reason to form a belief. If you're always trying to understand what is most consistent with reality, then that means that you're pursuing truth. If you're pursuing truth, a belief is a settled upon view. So it's kind of like sitting on a couch. Instead of sitting on the couch, chase truth. Reasoning is a process. A belief is an artifact. If you collect all these artifacts, you're never going to be able to function through that process cleanly and efficiently. It's very mechanical. Let me see. Brother Armando writes, which genius? I don't know that there is a a difference between what genius is. Genius is simply the ability to process information cleanly and efficiently within given realms of idealism. Okay, and that can translate into physical genius in the sense that, like, say for instance, you're watching a basketball player run down the court and they see an opening, and then all of a sudden they've processed and calculated the amount of space they have, the reaction time of all the characters that they're playing with, and then this one lane, this one avenue that they can get through if they can contort their body in a particular way just to deliver a layup or dunk a basketball. It's still processing through systems of idealism and or through conceptual frames. There's only one type of genius so far as I'm aware, and again, I'm describing what I see, not what I think, feel, or believe. You say, in whose reality? There is only one reality. This is something that a lot of people get. This is something humans get wrong quite often. Everybody's like, there are multiple realities. No, there's one reality, and then there are experiences within reality. Experiences within reality and reality are not one and the same. How you perceive reality and what exists mutually independent of idealism are two completely different things. What you experience and what you feel, believe, and witness versus how things are independent of what is witnessed, observed, or felt by anyone. These are mutually independent things. They should never be thought of collectively. And I probably could have used a better word than that, but anywho, my folk, my Negroes. Yo, your boy's about to get out of here, man. It's like, I appreciate y'all for dialing in. Bop, bop. You know it's love. And I get her done. We all try to get her done. It's we have fun. We have fun. Anyway, yo, I'm gonna let y'all go on that note, man. Again, thank you for your time. And it's like, I catch you guys on the next podcast. It's all love. I appreciate you. My fault.